Hello and welcome to Killbot Retro Tech. Hope you're having an awesome day. Now, there's been a lot going on behind the scenes, even though it really doesn't seem like it. So I just need to sit back, relax, and do an easy video for once. What you see in front of you is a Lightbook Mars eInk Android device. Now, I primarily got this device because of the e-reader functionality, but because this is running Android, you can do a lot more with it than just read books. Unfortunately, this device does not have a built-in speaker, but it does have a headphone jack, so if you absolutely need sound from a device like this, it is possible. However annoying it might be. Yeah, that's one of the really neat things about this device, is it insists on going portrait, and I don't want to use it in portrait, especially since I've got that little dongle sticking out the side there. That is an on-the-go adapter, so I can use my computer's keyboard. Now, why would I be wanting to use my computer's keyboard? I can't even tell if that's working. Well, okay, let's just go into DOSBox real quick. The idea is I can use my computer keyboard. Is that my keyboard? Yeah, that's my keyboard. Yeah, that's just not wanting to work. Fortunately, I have a plan B. A Bluetooth keyboard. We can just turn this on real quick. Anyways, some basics about this device, although this isn't really an overview, I just wanted to do a nerd thing with it. This has an eInk display, which means this type of display emulates paper very, very well. This thing does have a backlight, but you can use this without a backlight whatsoever. This kind of device, especially if you want to read a bunch of articles, is really good for preventing eye strain. So I managed to get this keyboard connected, because what I want to show you is some DOS stuff. Now, I am not particularly in the mood to be messing around with orientation stuff on the software side, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Back the camera out just a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on one of the backlights so you guys can actually see this. So, just a note, this makes the tablet look really washed out. It's not really naturally like that, and there's a lot of ghosting here. This actually relates to the mode that the display itself is in, I believe. No, that's not what I want to do. I believe it's called A2 mode, which basically changes how the screen refreshes. There we go. Because in this A1 mode, it's typically a lot slow. It's a lot slower. I don't really know a whole lot about eInk displays, but I know Technology Connections did a couple of videos looking at devices somewhat similar to this. I just wanted to do some DOS stuff on here, because I like DOS. I already have a games directory on here. Now I can get to what I wanted to show you. With DOSBox, it's pretty much just doom. So as you can see, you can pretty much make out what the stuff is going on here. It might be a little different on camera, but it's pretty okay. So, and the main reason why I want to do this is DOS machines before the 386 era, I would imagine, could have worked reasonably well with a display like this, but unfortunately, I'm not even sure if these types of displays existed all the way back then. All I know is that these types of devices kind of popped up around the early 2000s, something like that. So, like I said before, this thing does have a headphone port, so you could get sound out of this. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to accept it. No, that's not. Oh, there's no escape key on here. I almost went home. That's not a limitation of this device. This Bluetooth keyboard that I've got separate from this machine just does not have an escape key and has a home key instead because Android. But as you can see, it looks good until things move. Even in today's technology, e-ink displays just haven't really caught on. You can see I put it on A2 mode, but it's still fairly slow. But technically a lot more playable, even though that menu is kind of hard to see, not gonna lie. And there's Knee Deep in the Dead. If I didn't already know what this says, I wouldn't know what's going on. I'll just go on the default enough settings. Oh, yeah, that's another reason. That's another reason why these haven't caught on. I mean, it's slow altogether, but check out this input lag. It's not just the display having a low frame rate, it's slow to respond too. This is why these kinds of displays are more suited towards articles and not gaming. But I wanted to check it out anyways because I freaking love Doom and I wanted to see what it would look like on an e-ink display. Holy crap, this is hard to play. Oh man, I mean, theoretically you could play Doom on this, but this is, I would wager to say, unplayable. Now, if I remember correctly, there is another emulator type of thing I have on this device. Among Us does work. I'm not going to show it because it just really does not work well here. I have a program here called My Old Boy, which emulates Game Boy and Game Boy Color. And I have this because I should have a copy of Pokemon version Red. I was curious to see how this would look. Oh. I mean, it's a slow frame rate, but that looks good. I mean, because the Game Boy is a black and white system to begin with, this looks good. I just don't know if this has... Oh! Okay. Let's get rid of that keyboard and let's do the on-screen controls. Yeah, I mean... This refresh rate is horrible. But it looks amazing. This is weird. New game. Oh, there's Professor Oak. Oh, man. So I imagine that playing Pokemon on an e-ink display is a lot more playable, technically, than Doom. Still wouldn't recommend it. I really hope some major manufacturers really collaborate and refine the technology of e-ink displays. So there are color versions of this available, which is really cool because I think not even a few, like a handful of years ago, color displays were just barely starting to be a thing. It's really cool that there are colored versions of this. It would be really cool to play Pokemon Gold on one of those kinds of devices. I really hope some major manufacturers can get together and create e-ink displays that are very high refresh rate. But unfortunately, that's really, really hard to do just because that's how they are made. You can watch Alex's video on this that explains it in a little bit better detail, but essentially you're pushing a bunch of physical particles around, making displays like this, so it's really hard to have that be a really, really fast thing. But if we can get into the game here, I'm just gonna hop into the game here real quick, just play around a little bit. I'm not gonna get like super into it. Oh yeah, that's even in A2 mode, that's some significant lag. In theory, though, I mean, you could play some Pokemon without having major eye strain. If it wasn't for the input lag, this would be better than playing it on a Game Boy. But, oh boy, that input lag, that's just not good input lag. I mean, the gamer and total nerd in me absolutely loves the concept of playing games like Pokemon and Doom on a device like this. It's just not a good experience because of the input lag. What does work, Jackbox.tv. Jackbox Party Pack games, near flawless on this thing. It still has refresh rate issues, just like here, with the latency, blah blah blah, technical stuff, but at the same time, it's even more playable than this is, so I mean... Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this look into some eInk gaming, I guess. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more. I've got some socials linked in the description. I will see you all in the next video. Have a good one.